What's going on? How's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know this is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. It is Thursday, December 30th. It is our final podcast of 2021. And we are having our second ever guest that have been on 4 times. Of course, the first guest we had on 4 times is Jonathan Norris from Kingdom Collapse. And you guys know exactly who the second guest I'm having on 4 times is. It is my friends in Gold Frankincense Myrrh, aka GFM. That's why I got the sweatshirt on, the Beauty Core sweatshirt on. Oh, yeah. Before we jump into the podcast, so I want to thank our sponsors, First Phoenix Fitness. Yes, it is our last podcast 2021, so you're going to 2022, and a lot of people are making those New Year's resolutions to hit the gym, to get in shape, to get healthier, get more fit. Yeah, lift weights like Arnold. Blah. Oh, that was a horrible Arnold impersonation. What the heck am I doing out here? So you're going to end up wanting to get in the gym, lift the weights, get the cardio going, run, bike, swim, hit the Stairmaster, row machine, elliptical, whatever it might be. But of course, you're going to want to make sure that you prepare right and recover right afterwards, because that's all another name of the game right there. And to help you do that, that's where Phoenix Fitness comes in with many different supplements to help you achieve your fitness goals. So they have different pre-workouts, both stim and stim-free. I use the stim-free stuff because do I need any stimulants? I mean, I'm always energetic on these podcasts. I'm the same way in real life. I'm the same way in the gym. I don't need any of that stuff. So stim-free it is for me. They also have different BCAA recovery compounds, proteins for your morning, night, and directly after your workout. Creatines, multivitamins, literally anything when it comes to helping achieve your fitness goals, Phoenix Fitness has you covered. Our listeners get 15% using code MSOTD at fnxfit.com. Link description below. Our second sponsor is from Custom Debuts. So, with Custom Debuts, what they do is pick an artist, okay? You have the artist in mind? Now you can either pick an album or a song, okay? You got that in mind? You submit it to them, and they'll create a custom poster based on that. If it is an album, they'll take the album artwork, put it on the poster in a really cool fashion. They'll put the track listing on there, and with a song, what they'll do is they'll take the lyrics of the song, put it on a poster, potentially in a vinyl fashion, like a circular fashion, and whatever you want, honestly. That's why it's called Custom Debuts. When you order, they will send you a artistic proof within 48 hours of your order, and you can make as many tweaks, edits, suggestions as possible until you get a proof that you absolutely like, and then you can make that order and you can get it printed on your classic poster paper, or you get it printed, canvas style, or if you're really feeling it, aluminum. You get a full-on aluminum print poster of what you want from Custom Debuts. Our listeners get 10% off at customdebuts.com using the code CPP10 at checkout. Link Custom Debuts. Now on to one of my favorite podcasts, one of my favorite guests to have on. Easily, I'm not sure if where they'd rank in the top 5, but are they in the top 5? Absolutely. My 4th time having CJ, Maggie, and Lulu from GFM on the podcast. We recap 2021 with them, how many live shows they got. We also take a look at their 2022 upcoming tour with Fozzy, and you get to hear about how it all came to fruition, and then a little bit of a teaser into new music for 2022. So sit back, grab some popcorn, get ready to go into the new year with us, thanks to GFM. Is everybody ready? Team GFM, are you ready? I know you're ready. Enough with me. Let's get to it. Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast. I have only ever had 2 bands, 2 people, 2 groups of people be on the podcast at this point 4 separate times. And here we are with the second of that group. In 2021, I got to see him perform live. It was absolutely fantastic. I even got to throw cupcakes into the crowd on stage with him. And let me tell you, I got a great story about that after that, because apparently I hit someone in the head with a cupcake, and 2 days later they were trying to find out who it was. And I was standing right next to them as they were telling the story. So I'm just like, hey guys. I know they've been working on new music. They've got one hell of a tour coming up in 2022 with Fozzy. So please welcome back CJ, Maggie, and Lulu from Gold Frankincense Myrrh, aka GFM. So ladies, welcome back.
Hi.
And also our pup's here too.
Our dog just walked in. I don't know where he came from.
Clearly the star of the show has just arrived.
Come on, Benny. All right, he's not supposed to be in here.
But for everyone watching the podcast on YouTube, you're going to be like watching this right at the beginning. So it's like, oh my God, a dog. Yeah.
Extra views. Oh, he's going to try and eat the shirt. Here, take him out there and then there you go.
I'm not supposed to be here, bud.
Bye, Benny. Go outside. Go outside. Good boy.
That might be still one of the best, video bombs I've ever had in the podcast. Your dog, Tom for Patient 67, his cat tried to like peek in the left corner of the screen of his screen for like the first half hour of the podcast we did. I did one with a band called If Not For Me, and Ricky Armelino from Ice Nine Kills was walking back and forth consistently behind the camera. It was just like, okay, every time I get a video bomb to happen, I'm always glad that it happens because it's always fun. Why not?
Yeah.
So enough with the video bombs. Let's get back to GFM. So how's everything going on your end, as we close out the year 2021 and head into 2022? How's everything been so far?
It has been a very wild ride this year, and we are honestly just getting started with all the craziness. It's about to get a lot more crazy within like the next year. So we're getting really excited. We're really, really busy working for like all these upcoming releases and tours and stuff. So,
and we have so much more.
Like, there's just so much going on.
Really special this Sunday for some new stuff. And it feels like we're celebrating all these little accomplishments, like the tour with Fozzy and our new record being produced and just a bunch of different stuff. But then we also have to have time to do all these other things that for our like new promotion and all this kind of stuff. And so it's like, celebrate, not celebrate, celebrate, not celebrate. And we're trying to finish school. Like me and Maggie were going to graduate with our bachelor's in like a week and a half, December 17th. So just trying to figure all of that in there.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Graduating all of a sudden then, are you going to be doing school after that, trying to get a master's degree, or is it like bachelor's degree and then focus on, more like some of the GFM and then maybe some other stuff as well?
So I'm just staying with my bachelor's.
Yeah, it's one and done. I'm actually I've been accepted into my master's program with Liberty University, so I'm already enrolled for classes in January.
That is absolutely incredible to the fact of going through school during, while you're trying to work as much as possible with GFM, work on the band, work all together. And then all of a sudden you got all this stuff coming up for 2022. And then now you're going to be going for your master's. Oh my God, that is a lot of work right there. But it's impressive, not gonna lie.
I don't know how.
It's because I want people to have to refer to me as doctor. So
that really is the only reason.
That's the whole thing driving me at this point to take my master's and then my doctorate.
You go to write, because then you have to write a thesis for the master's or the doctorate. So you have to write, I think it's like 80 pages or something.
I have to basically write a book, I think.
Yeah, and she just wants to be called Dr. English.
Literally the only thing pushing me is how petty I am. Just so people have to call me doctor.
Well, I mean, and she wants to get.
And I want to help people.
And she wants to help because her what is it called?
I might help people, but the fact that it's called
her major
really is,
or what you're going for is crisis
counseling and psychology, but.
If you're going to be a doctor of crisis counseling and psychology, that's definitely going to help out people. But also, it's going to be absolutely hysterical when you get to that point where you earn your doctorate. You're going to be Dr. Maggie English, and all of a sudden, you're going to be up on stage with GFM, and you're going to have people refer to you as Dr. English. It's like
they're like on stage, Dr. Maggie English with GFM.
You're like called Dr. Scream. That's your thing.
Oh my word! That's my stage persona. Oh my word! Perfect.
And then just walk out on stage, like, get like like one of those doctor's coats, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, and everything's happened. And then next thing you know, just, it's like, Jesus Christ.
That is so funny.
I just walk out, and they're like, what is going on?
Refer to me as Dr. Scream.
That's like such a cheesy DC evil villain name or whatever.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Either a cheesy DC evil.
8 years from now.
It's either like a cheesy DC evil villain, or it's like a wrestler's name from like the 1980s.
Oh my word, yeah.
I like it.
But still, that is just, there's so much going on right there. And even jumping back to like what you've done in 2021, because I'd seen multiple different times where you guys were out on tour, guys were doing multiple different things, and all of a sudden, I got to see you play at Welcome to Rockville. There was even a show, I remember you were playing in Virginia sometime in October with the band Seasons, and they were trying to get me wholeheartedly to just travel out there from Wisconsin. Like, okay, Kevin, you got to come to see us play live, even though I saw him play once at Blue Ridge. Like, you got to come out and play us live again. It's like, we're going to be with GFM, and when I was interviewing him, I was wearing your GFM sweatshirt, which I bought in the podcast last year. I will not lie. I am not lying about this. This has become my favorite go-to all-time sweatshirt.
That's what I'm saying.
They're really soft.
I think we sold out of.
Yeah, we sold all of them.
We sold out all of them. But we are coming out with some new stuff, so I will say that.
So, oh darn, I'm not gonna be able to buy something on the podcast like I did last year. Dang it. Oh, but I mean, 2021, you had an absolutely incredible year, of course, with the pandemic starting to, ease. All of a sudden, live shows coming back, tours come back full force. I mean, I got to see you perform live not once, but twice in the same day. So, I mean, when it came to 2021, you definitely took the opportunity that was there with all the live shows that are being able to be played and really just went at it full force.
Yeah, we knew that we had missed so much in 2020 that we really just wanted to go as hard as possible and get as many shows in as possible. And I think we were out for 3 whole months in the summer.
That was the longest we've ever been out.
We just were like, we're not going to go home. We're just playing shows. And so
long.
it was the longest time we've ever been out. And then we also did some stuff earlier that year and then later that year or this year as well. So yeah, we knew we were going to like make up on missed time.
I'll say there was a lot of bands that I think wanted to make up on that missed time, and there were very few that went as heavy into it as you with the consistent amount of touring, the amount of shows that were being played, and the amount of places that you end up playing shows at. Because I remember seeing like some of those tour dates, it was a lot of the Midwest, a lot of the East Coast of the country. Like it seemed like every single day there was a show like coming out, and all of a sudden like there was a band that I knew that was playing. All of a sudden, boom, GFM is on the bill. I'm thinking, well, whoever's going to be at that show is going to have an absolutely incredible time because I know the band's be on there. All of a sudden, here comes GFM. As I'm like, well, they're going to bring the freaking house down. So this is going to be this is going to be absolutely incredible.
Oh my goodness.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure it was, from my perspective, it would have been totally worth it because when I got to see you play twice, I mean, it was no brainer. I was going to see you play at least once. And all of a sudden, it's like, okay, I got to come see this again twice because even when it came to Rockfest, it was just the energy was there, especially because you played the first full day. First show was at noon. All of a sudden, when I was walking in, there were some people that were following me. They're like, oh, what band are you going to see? I'm like, I'm going to see GFM. They're like, we're going to follow you. We're just going to trust you. So I think I had like 10 people follow me when I walked into when I walked into that like little tent. It's like, okay, we're here. And all of a sudden, it's like, now there's 10 people at the bar behind me getting drinks. Like, yep, they're here because for some reason they decided to follow me.
Yeah, that's another reason why we love Rockfest, because it is such like everybody just is like, oh yeah, we'll try this band out, and so then you end up making so many new like friends and fans and stuff, and it's always just a great time.
It really was. Now, when it came to 2021, was Rockfest like one of your like highlight, shows that you played, or was there like another one out there that just really sticks out in your mind as like the best GFM show of 2021?
Oh goodness, I don't know about that.
There are like so many good things about different shows that were so good. We're like, oh, that was the best show. And then like we'll play another. We're like, oh, no, that was the best show. And it's like, it's hard to compare them.
I think in Life Fest, because we've played Life Fest, it'll be our 3rd year was this year.
Yeah.
And I think that was the most people we ever performed to. I want to say there was about 4,000 people.
There was a lot of people.
Yeah, it was this, they have 3 stages. So they have the pit stage, which is more focused to like heavy metal bands, like screamo bands, to the edge stage, which is in this giant corral.
It's in like a horse racing, like they do,
so it's
like the barrel things
huge
there, but then they like clear everything out, so it's just this like dirt pit.
And so we played that, and we played I think at like 1:00.
Because we were just, I think, thrown in on that slot.
Yeah, we weren't even timed.
We
for
were
that
there
slot
early, and so they're like, hey, do you want to play tomorrow? We're like, sure, we're not supposed to play for 2 days.
Yeah.
We'll play. And they sandwiched us between Crowder, he was talking, which is like a really big Christian contemporary artist, and then we were playing, and then the Newsboys did a like speaking thing, and so we were able to like pull all those people because they wanted to see both of the speakers before, and they didn't want to lose their spots, and so people just kept coming. And we're like, we were in a good spot.
Yeah, it was really crazy. And then I think that was probably because we just looked out in the crowd and we're like, oh my word, because it's so funny to us. A lot of the shows, people will just show up right when we start playing, and so sometimes the show begins with there's 20 people and we're like, yeah, we're gonna rock for these 20 people, and then we go out on the stage and there's like 150 people and we're like, where did you all come from? Or then now for the instance it was like maybe 200 people, and then like 3,000 to 4,000 people just showed up.
We're like, oh.
We start like our intro starts and we go out there and we're like, oh goodness, there's a lot of people. But yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool experience.
It's like definitely something you were not expecting. All of a sudden, okay, it might be 200-300. Okay, now that 200 to 300 is turned to 3,000 to 4,000. I mean, that's a 10 times multiplier right there. At least.
That's like festival stuff for you. Like, you never can truly gauge or forecast kind of what festival crowds are.
Which is the good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, not a bad thing.
It's a good thing because, I mean, most of the time when you can't forecast that, it's going to be more on the positive side where when you're playing, all of a sudden it's more people are going to end up showing up, especially at a festival setting because people are there. They want to see music. They want to listen. They're going to want to take part in it. I mean, when I go to festivals, it's like I want to bounce around all these different places. It's if I got a chance to, if I listen to a band, all of a sudden it's like I hear 5 seconds. I'm like, okay, I want to go near there. Or if someone's got a massive pick on, I'm just like, I don't care what you sound like. I'm in. Just let me get there. And because of that, I found, maybe 5 or 6 bands from doing that I've had in the podcast this year.
Oh my goodness. Nice.
So it just keeps on flowing, keeps on trucking. When you're talking about Life Fest, was that the Life Fest that happened in Oshkosh, Wisconsin?
Yeah.
I think I was...
Actually, we played both Life Fest this year.
Oh, yeah.
We played the first Tennessee one, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I knew there was 2 of them. I thought you guys were playing the one in Oshkosh. I was supposed to go to that. All of a sudden, I got invited down to Chicago to see 2 other bands I had in the podcast. I'm just like, the reason I was going to Life Fest was going to be seeing GFM. Like, but I'm going to Rock Fest the following week, so I'm going to see them there. So I'm like, you know what? Let's kind of differentiate a little bit here. And all of a sudden,
the festivals are right next to each other, and we just kind of stayed in Wisconsin. We're like,
for like here. I think 2 weeks we were just hanging out in Wisconsin.
We actually saw Black Widow.
Oh yeah. We went to the movies. We were just like, we're just gonna hang out here. Let's just go see the movies and stuff.
And when you're playing many different shows around the same state, why not just take it in, embrace it, all of a sudden just go and do some random fun stuff along the way?
True. Yeah, I think me and CJ woke up at like 6 a.m. We went on a hike.
We did.
Some people, it was like up a mountain and everything. We're like, this is way too early, but it was really pretty.
It's Wisconsin in the summer. It's gonna be a good time. I'm not gonna lie. Well, even with the Rock Fest, because I do want to just kind of go a little bit into the fact that you let me throw cupcakes in the crowd on stage, and I had an absolute blast doing that. My hand was just covered in red and blue frosting. It looked purple. Like, it literally looked like I had like punched a Smurf in the face, and all of a sudden I was just like covered in just everything from it. I was laughing hysterically the whole time.
Secret to the cupcakes for the Cupcake Wars. We go to Walmart and we buy the cheapest, most vibrant,
the ones that are the most
dyed,
neon, like the trashiest looking ones because
like,
of how neon
they have that color for, or red,
the red dye number 4,
red dye number 4, or all that stuff in it.
They like stains.
And they throw them at people. It's so funny.
And then, because in the summer they melt because they get so hot, and so then you pick them up, they're automatically just smeared, and you throw them, and they just splatter, and like it's not. We didn't try to do it on purpose, but it kind of helps. So.
It's such a, what's the word? Like an out of body experience.
What?
To have people have, because you're in, not Rockville. Rockfest was so hot.
Yeah.
And you're kind of dying in there. You get under the stage, like we had a
we
covering,
at least have shade.
And you have all these fans, and you're just pouring sweat. And then you have Cupcake get on you. I feel like I would just pass out.
I would be so angry.
That's why I'm on stage not getting them.
But you have to be careful because there's been a few times people have like thrown them back of the equipment and stuff, and it's gotten everywhere. And so I've started to say at shows like, please don't throw this back. Some of this equipment is not ours.
It's all fun and games. We literally tell people more at festivals and kind of more.
Especially festival because it's not our equipment. We don't want to people to charge us.
Like, people throw stuff in the crowd all the time. Like, we know a band that threw Taco Bell burritos in the crowd, and so people know it's like all fun and games. But obviously, inside shows we never throw real cupcakes. We have squishies or we have soap, and we always tell people don't bite into them.
People have eaten
they
it
are
before.
bath bomb cupcakes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's really funny.
I saw someone take a bite of it one time, and like their face.
Yeah, I was like,
don't
eat them.
They had to like spit it out.
I'm gonna have to come and see you at an indoor live show to see one of these like bath bomb squishy cupcakes, but I will get to that later on, especially because we talk about 2022. But I do know what you're talking about, because when I was able to throw cupcakes on stage with you, I mean, there was someone that 2 days later, when me and this one other person that was in the group that I was with, we went to go watch We Came as Romans, and his friend was next to us that he just knew from somewhere else, and he was complaining about how his hat had this like weird like food color dye on it that he couldn't get out because someone threw a cupcake at him and it hit him square in the face. And he wanted to talk to this guy and give him a piece of his mind. He's like, well, what show is that? He's like, it was at GFM. They played right before Saint Sony. I'm just like, and all of a sudden he's like, turns to me, he's like, Kevin, is that you? I'm just like, hey man, how's it going? That was me. And I'm just like,
we always preface it too. So it's like, if you don't get a cupcake, maybe
Like, this is the song.
maybe
This
the
the
one you
move.
stand in the corner.
Stand in the corner. You need a little, like,
this is a
umbrella.
song for you maybe just to squat down so that the person in front of you or the person behind you gets potentially hit. But
So,
I mean, who doesn't want a free cupcake? They're cupcakes.
We're gonna sell GFM umbrellas.
no,
It has a
we
target on
need
the top.
to, just so like if people don't want to get hit, they just hold them and it still says
No, but what if we did that and people started hitting each other with umbrellas during the show, like the mosh pit? Oh goodness.
I'd say you probably know all of a sudden, it's like I would jump in one of those mosh pits and all of a sudden I saw someone with GFM umbrellas. We're going to start swinging them around. It's going to be like a full-on like lightsaber sword fight in the pit with those. I'll put it this way. You know we're going to have a whole bunch of fun if we do that, though.
Oh my word. We were in Germany, and I think it was the last time we were there in 2019,
Yeah.
and it was the like street, what is it called?
Street team?
Yeah, street team. And so they are the ones that mosh. They go to different shows in mosh. And they're like, we have a special surprise for you when you guys play. And we're like, oh no, what do you have planned? And we play the last song and they open the floor up. And so this is like 3,000 people. And they take out these inflatable swords and start fighting each other like a duel. And people are like shouting for them. And then they pull out
pillows.
They pull out pillows and then start pillow fighting. There's feathers everywhere.
Yeah,
and then the wall of death comes together and you just don't see them. Like
and
they
just
died.
disappeared.
They just disappeared. It's
Wait.
so funny.
Why don't we do this here? That sounds
I
like an
know.
incredible time.
Dude.
They had a whole duel. And
Yeah.
it was
And
pretty
they like
epic.
were doing backflips and everything, and then we're like fighting them, and they would flip, and then you're like, ah.
It was pretty nuts.
A mosh pit that turns into a duel of inflatable swords, a pillow fight, and then the full-on wall of death. I mean, you don't know how jealous I am of those people right now because that is something I'm like, I want to do that so bad.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, well, maybe we'll get it going in 2022 because, of course, 2022 is going to roll around, and in the spring, we're going to preface this now. You're going on tour with Fozzy, and first question around that is, how did you end up on this tour with Fozzy? Because when I saw him, I'm just like, wait, what? It was more of a surprise of like, I can't believe this is actually happening. So how did this all come to fruition?
Stereotypical
It's
for
one
a
of those
band.
like right place, right time.
It's so
things.
because I literally, when we were growing up, I hated when people say that. I'm like, no, it's not. You know connections. Tell me your connections. Let me play it open for you. No, we literally played. And it was in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we played the
Rock
Prot Days Festival,
and they were headlining.
and we played, and well, because first they played Rockfest the same day we did, and so their tour manager watched us play and commented under our post, was like, "Sorry, ladies, you guys are rocked." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Oh, you should tell Chris to come watch us. We play Prot Days," and so he's like, "I will," and I went. And so then,
But you know, like everyone lies.
yeah,
Yeah, like, oh yeah,
like they
totally
say
watch
that
you.
every time.
Yeah,
And so
we're
we were
like,
playing,
okay.
and we turned side stage, and they're all just standing there watching us and like filming and everything. And we're like, okay, I'm just gonna keep playing now. And then once we got on stage, we were like running, trying to offload everything. And
Because they were storming.
it was
Literally,
starting
a
to
giant.
rain.
It was a
Yeah, there was like a
hurricane
monsoon.
was coming and flooding. Like Fozzy didn't even get to play.
Yeah.
They just started.
And but like people were
leaving.
yelling at us. They're like, "Fozzy wants to meet you. You need to go. The whole band wants to meet you." We're like, "We gotta get our stuff off stage. We have to go to the
Yeah.
merch table. People are waiting there. They're gonna get struck by lightning." And they're like, "You can meet them after. We've got the stage stuff. Go meet them." And we're like, "Okay." And so we met Chris, and he was like, "You guys were amazing."
And we got on our vlog, and we vlogged a little bit together.
Yeah. And then I think
They're like,
our
oh, we
manager-
should stay in touch. And we're like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Like,
their
still not
manager-
believing it because everyone's like, wants to stay in touch and then not ever do
And
anything.
then I think we were driving on tour.
it
and,
was
I
like,
think it was like
2 or 3 weeks later.
we got the
Yeah.
call, and we were like,
his booking agent was like, "Hey, would you like to go on tour, Fozzy?" We're like, "What?" And they're like, "Hey, would you like me to book you as your booking agent?" We're like, "What?" And so now that's how we got on TKO Booking Agency. Dan DeVita like actually it was like wanted to work with us and everything because like I guess Chris and the guys from Fozzy called him and were like, you need to get GFM on a tour with us right now. And like that's how we got on the tour.
We owe now the rest of the tours and all of our shows to Chris Jericho because now we're on his booking team.
We're on TKO now because of him.
I knew there was going to be some wild, wacky story in how you got on tour with Fozzy for 2022. There was absolutely no way that I was expecting it to be that. From just, you know, taking a comment from their booking agent, a comment from their manager. All of a sudden, it's you're playing Bridesmaids, and they're watching you perform live, and then all of a sudden they want to meet you, and then next thing you know, it comes to you get on tour with them, and now you have a booking agent with them. It's like the same. Oh my God, I'm flabbergasted at this whole entire thing. I'm flabbergasted in amazement at this point.
Yeah, we were when we got the text, we were driving to our next show, and I don't think that was the day we were already late, so we were just like trying to get there. I'm like in the middle of the highway, and my mom's like, I need to pull over. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, I need to pull over. Just pulls over and like takes a phone call.
I think she like gasped. She was like, oh.
No, I heard her. She was like, no, she didn't even gasp. She was like taking the phone charger out, and she was like, I need to go. I need to pull over.
We thought something was wrong.
And she was like freaking out. We're like, what is happening?
Usually, if something like
she's like, hey,
someone,
she's like trying to
like calm
get her cord and like her phone.
She was like
and driving.
I mean, we're exposing her here, but she was like full on like freaking out, and we were like,
are you okay?
What is going on? She's like, shh, don't speak. We're like, okay.
Everyone literally was like in the car, not moving at all.
We all like stopped doing what we were doing and stared at her, and we were like,
and then like she hung up. We're like, what just happened? And she went, oh, and we're like, were you not gonna tell us? You were just gonna sit there?
She was gonna keep going. She was just ready to go.
Oh my!
She wasn't gonna tell us.
Oh my God. Shout out to your mom for just making that just even more of an insane story. Just I'm still flabbergasted because I do agree with you. All of a sudden, it's just when something like that happens, when all of a sudden, you know, you're on the highway and you freak out because of a phone call and you pull over. Most of the time, something bad has happened that you have to address right then and there. But this is completely on the flip side of that, where something absolutely incredible, amazing has happened. You just do not want to be distracted. You have to take this and you have to just see what this is about. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's going to be 2022 and you're going to be touring with Fozzy.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what happened. But we were like, well, I guess now, but then we couldn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
For months. I think.
We found out in July, I think, and we weren't allowed to say anything till November.
So we had months.
And so we were just like trying not to say anything. We're like, oh yeah, nothing happened. It was like nothing's
and
weird.
I think CJ actually
made a joke. She made a joke about it on a live stream that we did.
Before we knew.
Before, yeah.
She's
or
like,
no, it was on the vlog. It was on the vlog.
She's like, we're gonna go on tour with Fozzy now. Like, we're best friends because he was on the vlog. We were talking with him.
We had no idea.
So she made the joke.
The call had not been made yet.
But she manifested a tour with Fozzy.
So CJ essentially predicted the future right there and did so in a perfectly okay way because the tour was not even set at that point. The offer was not even set. It was just kind of thrown out there as a, hey, you know, looks like this might actually happen. You never know, though. And all of a sudden when it happens, just got to keep her mouth shut until it's actually like is made a full-on announcement.
Yeah.
But then when it's made an announcement.
Even worse because when she said that, literally Chris Jericho followed us on Instagram and we was like, oh. What? It was like the weirdest thing. All this stuff was like happening. We're like, what is going on right now?
And then it was also like that tour was like the longest time we've been on tour. So we were already like living in some different realm. Basically, like when you go on tour, you feel like you're in a different realm for a while. And so we were like, what is happening? What am I real?
And it was happening? Like I think it was midnight maybe, and it was in the middle of a rainstorm and there was so much lightning that they had to cancel the rest of the show. That's like Fozzy couldn't even go on and play and like canceled because the guy was like, I hate canceling shows and stuff, but I value the people more, and they literally would get struck by lightning. And
it was lightning bad.
Like there was a whole emergency warning, there was like a tornado warning and stuff, and so we were driving as fast as we could to get out of there. My mom was like, we need to not stay in this city tonight, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
So it was crazy.
That is insane. Now, it's just when the tour announcement happened, because it did happen in November, I mean, I was absolutely flabbergasted, astounded by it. What was the reaction from all of the people that love GFM, all the fans? What was the reaction from them online that you guys got to be able to see?
we were in LA when we did the announcement
Mhm.
for other things that we had yet to announce. And
We had to wake up. I had to set an alarm for 7 a.m. because I had to post it 10 a.m. Eastern time, but we were in LA, and so I was like, I have to post this at 7 in the morning.
we got up and we announced it, and like immediately everyone was just so proud of like Team GFM in a whole, because we have people that have been with the band for years and years, and they have been there like when we played our itty bitty tiny shows, and there's been people who've been there when we play our huge shows, and some people came to our first sold out show. And so for them to see us like make that progress from those shows to going on tour with someone like Fozzy, it was just such like a proud moment for the whole like fandom and community to just be like, yo, like Team GFM is going places, and no doubt we will add to the team while we go on this tour, because there's plenty of people that still have yet to hear of us. So it was just such like a proud moment, and obviously everyone was super happy, and especially because it is a bigger tour, so there are more popular cities and dates, and we
a
go
lot more dates
all the way over to like California. We go super high up north, and so everyone, I think we're literally going to Maine. And so people were like, I'm finally going to get to see you live because you're coming to like my city. So
we had to turn our notifications off because it was just everyone was commenting. Our dad called. He's like, "There's so much going on." I'm like, "Dad, turn your ringer off. You just ignore it for a second."
It was really fun. And then we got to go to the studio because we were there for we were writing and recording, and so like literally after that announcement, I think 2 or 3 days later, we announced another announcement about new music. And so people are like, they're like, there's so much going on. I just got myself together, and you're announcing another thing.
It's like everyone saw that happen within the span of 3 days. It feels like we're in the twilight zone of just everything happening, like going right for GFM. Is this real? Is this an actual reality? Is this, maybe the twilight zone is the Matrix? Someone pinching, make sure it's real, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, they probably woke up and it's like, oh man, I can't believe that, I actually thought of that. And all of a sudden it's like, no, that happened yesterday. This actually is a thing.
Like, it's real.
Because it was really quick. All of a sudden, it's like, again, the Fozzy tour happened all of a sudden. You've made the announcement you were in LA working on new music. And when I saw that, I'm just thinking, all right, huge tour, new music coming out. They're working on new music. It's going to potentially come out in 2022. 2022 is shaping up to be the biggest year for GFM. I have to end with this. So far.
Honestly, I feel like at this point, we can only go up from here, which is super exciting. And there's just so much that we have planned and so much that we're looking forward to that we're going to really make 22 just as big as we can, which is only going to make the rest of it even bigger. So,
Oh, absolutely. And then when it comes to the new music that you were working on, can we get a little bit of like a teaser for that one? Because I know Team GFM, I know everyone that loves GFM is going to want a little bit of information. And I know you're not able to put out that much, but just give us something. Just give us a little bit of something.
It definitely is more of a mature GFM sound, which is super cool. We worked with Barry Pointer. He has done all the John 5 records. And
we got to work at the studio from
the guys from Perfect Circle, their studio.
Yeah, the bass player and the drummer, their studio. It was pretty sweet.
So they all followed us too, which is really cool.
We're literally living in the Matrix.
We're famous now.
Oh my.
But yeah, he really.
What's happened in the year we talked? We're famous.
No. We rented out like a rehearsal studio, and so instead of just going from like demos to tracking, we actually worked through all of the songs and like plugged into amps and figured out how they would sound live. And so instead of us like recording the songs and then adapting them for the live, it's basically like a live recorded version. Yeah. And so it's got that energy that a GFM show has on like digital music. Yeah. So it's
so be careful when you're listening in your car.
Say, don't tell me that now, because I'm going to be listening in the car. All of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm going to basically turn I-94 into a demolition derby because I'm going to be having so much fun. And all of a sudden, it's going to be like, oh, cops are going to come. It's like, Kevin, caused a major accident, man. What are you doing? It's just, oh, man, let me tell you. I listened to the new GFM music, and I just couldn't help myself. Like, I felt like I need to start a mosh pit on the highway. Going 80 miles an hour. When you got to do it, you got to do it, man.
We can say we're doing something that we've never done before. So
Everyone says that.
Well, you'll understand
That
when
was
it
a very general and broad
when it
statement.
comes out. You understand. I can't say anything else.
We're gonna
'cause I
do
will
something
be
we've
sued.
never done before. And that's all we can say. No, no. A lot of people are asking like, what direction are we going with it, or like, is it heavier and stuff? And truthfully, like every answer we've given back to that is, we get so bored of music so quickly that if we solely were like, all right, this is going to be like the heaviest thing we've written, or we're gonna go more pop punk, or like, we would get so bored if each song was a direction.
Mm-hmm.
So we truthfully take each one and send it off into its own little spaceship, and it goes, and then we do another one and it goes, and we don't really like stick with one, I guess, genre, which is why we created our own genre to begin with, because people were saying like, what are you going pop punk, are you going like this or that? And it's like, honestly, the beauty core is literally just whatever we want it to sound like, and whatever would seem fun to perform, because like Maggie said, we were performing it. Like when we were recording it, it was us. And if we did something and it didn't seem fun, like that's literally how we decided. We were like, that doesn't seem fun to play. Like it sounds good.
Like, I don't
This
want to
is
do
boring.
that. I feel like I won't have fun doing that.
That was the joy of working with Barry, is that like we got to have those like opinions. It wasn't just, oh no, it sounds good though and people will enjoy this. It's like, no, have fun. Like do what you think is going to be the most fun to play, and do what you think is going to be the most fun to hear. So there are directions of like heavier and more pop punk, and like,
but it's not like a full general direction of the EP or album, whatever it ends up being.
It's literally just music that we were like, this would be fun. Oh, this would be fun. Oh, this sounds cool. And it's honestly just such a fun piece of music. I feel like our past records have told stories and they've kind of gone a certain direction. We always do the thing where we're like, we just want to do whatever. But this music is solely just so fun. Like it's gonna be incredible.
I think it's because it does capture that live essence, and Barry really kind of pushed us out of our comfort zone and made us the boss of the final decision. And normally if
sometimes that's not a good idea.
Normally we have co-writes or producers will like say something and they'll be like, okay, well if you think about it this way, like this blah blah blah, and they're like, oh yeah, that doesn't make sense. Let's not do that then. But Barry would always turn to us and be like, okay, boss, what do you think? And we're like, what do you mean, what do we think?
We're like,
You're the professional here. You're the one who knows how to do this. And they're like, no, this is your stuff. Like, what is your final decision? And so we were forced to have to be like the leader of the project, which definitely helped us grow as musicians. So
it also, we may have made some questionable decisions.
Oh my word.
Are we ready for them? Yes. And are we excited for people to see them? Absolutely.
You see them. You mean hear
I
them?
mean hear them, but like see them as in performing wise. Like,
I still never be hearing them.
True, but like seeing it as in like we're gonna go out there and the world's gonna see what we have put on the table. Will the table include dancing cat memes?
Maybe.
Maybe
It'll include fried chicken.
What?
Because
I got
the whole joke was that Barry smelled like fried chicken the whole time.
He did.
Well, who doesn't want dancing cat memes and fried chicken? That just sounds like a great combo to advertise with.
Oh, that should be the name.
Dancing cat memes and fried chicken. That would be
there you go.
That'd be like an Attack album name.
That does sound like it would be like an Attack album name, or just like some crazy A Day to Remember song name from 2009.
Yeah, and the like shirt is a cat with lasers with fried chicken in both hands
instead of a drumsticks. Oh, more they're actual like the turkey drumstick with his chicken. They're like, yeah.
No.
You just sounded like from Tumblr from 2000 and like.
I hope you know this is exactly how our writing processes go though. Like we start just spitting, and then sometimes people are like, actually, can we do that though?
And then they're like, okay, listen.
That
was not popular for a reason.
But from my standpoint, just hearing how you're talking about making the new music and basically recording it just kind of like as you were playing it live to really kind of match up with that and really kind of take these songs in direction you want to take them and not really basically limit yourself to this is going to be a little more pop punk, it's going to be heavier, it's going to be more on this side. It sounds like what we're going to end up getting is we're still going to get an evolution of the beauty core style that GFM goes with, but we're also going to get a little bit more of a mature style from your writing process as you've grown as musicians. But on top of that, we could potentially get an album that, you know, it can range from something that's going to be a little bit, have some softer stuff on it, have some more pop punk stuff on it, have some more stuff that's a little more metalcore style, just really encompassing everything to really have the energy and just the live prowess potentially of something like a Day Remembers Homesick album or their What Separates Me From You album, because every time I listen to those, I mean, they're dynamic, they're still energetic. You listen to those songs live, you see them live, and they're just absolutely incredible as ever. I mean, whenever they start throwing toilet paper on and people are crowd surfing on top of crowd surfers, I mean, you know that those songs are going to smack live along with on the album as well. So if you kind of are able to just capture, not just there's like, not that sound, but like capture the essence and the emotion that people are going to end up listening to from something like that and just really bring that energy out there, people are going to listen to this stuff. People are going to see it live when you play with Fozzy, and people are going to just really take a look and say, why did we not know that beautycore was a thing? Why did we not know about GFM? But one other thing to say about that is, at least it's better late than never.
True.
And for all the people on Team GFM and the GFM family, when they go on tour with Fozzy, I implore you, and anyone listening, I implore you to go see one of those shows. It will be most likely coming to any place by you within probably like at least a 1 to 2 hour drive, at the most a 1 to 2 hour drive. And if any of you are in, you know, the Wisconsin or Illinois area, I'll say this: come to the April 4th one, because you'll see me there and you'll see me just enjoying it as ever, because every time I've seen GFM live, when I saw them at a small show in 2020 and then at Rockfest in 2021, I'm not gonna lie, I was never disappointed. And there is no way that's going to happen on this Fozzy tour. I can guarantee you that. So make sure you go see a show, but if you want to come hang out with me and we can start, you know, maybe do those like the inflatable sword mosh pit, get some pillows in there, and then have a crazy wall of death, we'll do it on April 4th in Wisconsin.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how, like, security would be like, what is this? You're like,
Don't question it.
Just don't question
it's not a real weapon.
Oh, I'm well aware of the venue that it's being held at, because I've been there a couple of times already, so I kind of know the lay of the land, and I think we could easily make that happen.
Interesting.
Specifically the inflatable sword part.
Oh my word, we bring the swords.
I'm gonna bring a sword and join in.
We jump into the crowd.
We just stop playing.
That would be something that I don't think anyone would expect, but no one would forget.
True. Oh my goodness.
That would be incredible. But again, 2021 was one incredible year for GFM, and 2022 is shaping up to be the best year for GFM so far.
Yes.
And I think we will leave it at that, because I know you girls have to go off and I think you're doing something else later on. And so I know we had a hard stop around 45 minutes. So before we close up this podcast, I always like to give you a chance to say anything you want to say, promote whatever you want to promote, plug whatever you want to plug at the end of the podcast. So CJ, Maggie, Lulu, floor is yours.
Definitely follow us at the GFM Band on all of our social medias. We post kind of constantly. We're continuously posting on our YouTube channel. We're doing a lot of Christmas content right now.
Yeah.
But we will definitely do a ton of tour vlog footage. We have a ton of like special stuff planned specifically for that tour, since it's like our first big US tour. So we've got a lot of stuff planned for the vlogs. So you definitely don't want to miss that. It lets you see kind of like an inside look into touring.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of cool stuff planned. We have a lot of our friends coming on the road with us this time. So it's not just like GFM. We get to bring people to help with like load in, and we have an actual sound guy coming with us, and a girl that we know really well to run merch. We have a tech, a videographer. So there's going to be lots of great show footage. So if you can't make it to a show, definitely watch our YouTube videos so you can experience it that way, but also it helps us grow. We have lots of new merch. Obviously, new music is coming out. So definitely follow us to get more updates on that. And you want to say, Liv?
We run all of our social media. So if you ever need to talk or you want to reach us, we all three run it. And we're always trying to stay updated with it. It takes us a little bit because there's a few of you guys, but we try to stay updated with it. So if you ever need anything, we're always there to listen and to hear. And
you said everything.
I think that's it. Just know that we love you guys so very much, and we want the best for you guys. Keep fighting, keep putting it in the effort. And sometimes things seem very dark, but there's always better days ahead. And that's what we're here for, to walk and do those fights with you. So definitely let us know if you ever need anybody to talk to. That's why we're here, and that's why we do GFM.
Fantastic way to just close it out and to just honestly send that message of positivity going into 2022. So time to close out this podcast with 3 very specific things. First things first, you just heard where to find GFM Online. You know new music is coming out. You know they're going on tour with Fozzy. You're going to want to check out some of that tour footage. You're going to want to buy some merch because, last time I have on the podcast, I bought this sweatshirt. It's become my favorite sweatshirt. I wore it to every festival I went to because at night it got cold. So what sweatshirt did I take with me? It was this exact one. It's soft as ever and it's cuddly. And of course, I wear it around all the time. I still wear it to shows sometimes here and there because, well, people are like, what the heck is GFM? Like, got to go check it out. And then we'll see what happens there. But you're going to want to become a part of all this stuff. You're going to want to become part of Team GFM. So instead of having to search all this stuff up by yourselves, I will have it covered for you. So take a look at the description of the podcast. You'll find all their social media accounts on there. You'll find all the links for them. You'll find links to their YouTube video. You'll find the GFM group on Facebook. You'll find the link for that. You'll find links to the Fozzy tour. You'll find links to their website to where you can get some merch. And of course, where you can stream music on Spotify and Apple Music. And you can also buy it, download, all that good stuff. So when it comes to finding GFM, if you haven't already found them, I'm taking care of everything for you. All you have to do is click, like, subscribe, buy some stuff, enjoy the music, have a good time. So, of course, there is that. And of course, number 2 is can't wait to see you guys live and cannot wait to see it happen again. I will be at the show on April 4th because I believe it's in Wisconsin, and that is going to be it's going to be the end of 3 straight days of amazing shows, and I am all for it. It's going to be just can't wait. Yeah. So, of course, as I end this podcast, I cannot in good conscience end this podcast by saying goodbye once again due to the fact that you are only the second man I've ever had on here 4 separate times. I always like to have you on every single year. So in 2022, are we going to have you on again? Yup. And I will end up seeing you live at least once because I already have that date set. So it is not goodbye. So Maggie, CJ, Lulu, as one of probably, I'm not sure where you rank there, but easily one of my top 5 favorite guests I've ever had in the podcast of all time. I keep bringing it back because I keep enjoying all these podcasts, doing them with you. So it is never goodbye. It is always see you later. Well, folks, this is my review with CJ, Maggie, and Lulu from the band GFM, aka Gold Frankincense Myrrh. I should say Gold Frankincense Myrrh, aka GFM. That's why I got the sweatshirt on. Again, super duper comfy. When it comes to GFM, if you are not a part of GFM, you want to become part of it, or you just want to follow everything with GFM if you haven't already, take a look at the description of the podcast. You just pop out podcast, iHeart Radio, and Amazon. You'll find links to everything social media-wise. You'll find links to the YouTube channel where you can watch all the vlogs. You'll find links to the website where you can buy some merch, where you can download their music, where you can buy their music, where you can stream their music, and of course, where you can get tickets for that tour with Fozzy. So Team GFM, if you haven't gotten those tickets yet, I suggest you do. If you're listening, you're not a part of Team GFM, and you're like, hey, I want to go check out GFM, go get those tickets because when GFM is going to be on stage, we're going to have an absolute blast. And if you can make it to that April 4th show in Kansasville, Wisconsin, I will be at that one. So come on out. We're going to have an absolute blast. Also, please follow the Chord Progression Podcast on places like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Please subscribe to the Chord Progression Podcast on YouTube if you haven't, or stream it on Spotify Podcast, iHeart Radio, and Amazon. And links will be in the description of the podcast for you. If you're already following us and subscribe to the podcast, a gigantic thank you at the end of 2021 going to 2022. Absolutely love the fact that you subscribe to the podcast and a part of this. I want to thank you very much because 2022 for GFM is shaped up to be one of the biggest years so far. For the Chord Progression Podcast and myself, 2022 is the exact same way, shaped to be the biggest year so far. And I also want to thank our sponsors once again, Custom Debuts and Phoenix Fitness. Again, their promo codes and their links in the description of the podcast. And again, this is the 4th time I've had GFM on the podcast. You know I'm going to have them on a 5th time going forward. You know what's going to end up happening. You know I'm going to see them live. If I didn't like them and I wasn't supportive of them, would this skate deck, the pink one, would that be up on the wall? Of course not if I wasn't going to support, because it's right there. I got that in 2020. This has been a thing for right now. So if you got a chance to go out and see GFM, I implore you to do it in 2022 because you're not going to want to miss out on this. Again, if you're a fan of something like Paramore, A Day to Remember, or just good music in general, go and check out GFM. Please, please, please do, because 2022 is shaping up to be the biggest year for GFM so far. I got to say so far because I feel like 2023 might end up beating 2022 for them, and then keep going. It's like every year might be a bigger year for them. It could very well happen that way with the trajectory that they're on, and you're not going to want to miss out on it. On that note, That's going to be for me, guys. Thank you for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin. I want to thank you guys for sticking with us for all of 2021 and going into 2022. Have a happy new year. And you guys know how I end every single one. I'm big, healthy, and hearty. See ya! Yeah!